It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked on this beautiful Good Friday. And it has been a wonderful day. We are back on the couch with businesswoman, philanthropist and author and just all-round wonderful human being, Basetsana Kumala, as we catch up with her amidst her birthday week, her celebrations that seem to have kind of turned into a festival. Yeah, so I'm glad that we've been able to jump on that party train.
Thank you. The annual Bassi birthday extravaganza.
That's it.
I love it.
Extravaganza. I love that.
But the last time we connected with you on the show, and I remember I had this conversation with you, was right at the beginning of lockdown. It was about how you were managing and tackling homeschooling and being a mom, a teacher, a businesswoman, signing books over there. And you were busy during that time. How's the homeschooling coming along now?
You know what? Obviously, the kids are back now formally at schools, though obviously currently it's holidays. But homeschooling was quite a challenge when you're homeschooling a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. And they want to talk to mommy and complain to mommy. But I would often say, there's mommy and there's teacher mommy. And I used to, I think initially it was a challenge for them as well to adjust to this new normal. And so we all tried to navigate it and listen, and then it got seamless. We found a rhythm and we found a structure, and it seemed to have worked because they recently got their results this year, and they did they did so well. And it's also difficult for children, 1 minute we are in school, 1 minute we have to stay home. So it's been challenging for for every student, and so I managed to get on with it.
And what kind of a teacher were you? Were you a no-nonsense teacher? Because I can imagine you being quite strong in the classroom.
Listen, so my mother was a teacher by profession for 40 years. And she was a strict teacher. I mean, they knew her. You didn't mess with Mistress Makhalimel. So I'm my mother's child. In that I set rules, there are boundaries, there are do's and there are don'ts. And there was a lot of snot and trane in between. People crying, people throwing tantrums. I was like, not in my classroom.
Something tells me they much prefer teacher mommy to their actual teachers now, because teacher mommy at least cooks for them.
Yeah, exactly. The proof is in the pudding. Literally, the proof is in the pudding. Education, obviously, with your upbringing, is something that you have proven over and over is something incredibly close to you, something that you have become an advocate for. Why is it so important? Why have you chosen to make this one of the grounds that you really do fight a battle on?
Education is the only tool that you can fight poverty. And Madiba often used to say that. And in the country that we're living in, we need an educated nation, an educated cadre of young people. Because when you think about the stats in terms of unemployment, you are just so disheartened every day. So it's only through education that we can impact lives. It's only through education that the educated can contribute to the economy. And with education, I've seen how people's lives have changed. I've mentored many young people through the years. Some have become doctors, lawyers, architects, teachers. And it's that fundamental education that has changed the trajectory of their lives.
They then get to pay that on.
And they pay forward.
But, we know that speaking of contribution to the economy has taken such a huge knock all over the world, really, due to the COVID-19 pandemic. There's so many people losing their jobs at the moment. And a lot of them using their educated minds, I suppose, then to venture into entrepreneurship. Being a very successful businesswoman yourself, what is your advice for someone who's really looking to set something up for themselves during this really trying time?
COVID has forced all of us to think outside of the box, to be more creative, to be agile, and to look at industries that are different. So many opportunities are now available for young entrepreneurs to start a delivery service business, a tutoring business, a cleaning service business, delivering groceries to homes. So it's really looking at how can I make this impact that has challenged society work for me, and really begin to think outside of the box and be able to be gainfully employed.
Being solutionist in your approach.
Well, as an entrepreneur has to become, you have to kind of face those challenges and beat them back. You've mentioned purpose so many times this morning. What is your purpose? What is that now? Has that changed?
I know my life purpose in a single word. I'm a teacher. Not a teacher in a conventional classroom, but a teacher of life. And I say this because I've seen how my journey has inspired many, many people through the years, through over 2 decades. And it's because I think the way I live my life, I live it authentically and honestly. What you see is what you get. And I find that young people, when they express themselves, whether on my social media, is that you teach me all the time. Your messages inspire. And I think being a teacher, an unconventional teacher, I lived my life on television that, you know, inspired people, teaching people the content that I produce. I currently produce about 10 television shows.
Wow.
And those are shows that inspire, that motivate, of course, that entertain, but are more on edutainment. And so I use the television medium as a teaching tool for people. And I found that that is my calling. That is my life purpose. That's what gets me out of bed every morning, to know that I can make a difference by just being the one that is in the classroom of life and being able to impart knowledge that I've gleaned over the last, 47 years, I guess.
Wow. Incredible. And I think a lot of your life experiences have been teaching moments along the way for so many of us who sit in this classroom and watch from a distance, taking it all in. So very much thank you so much for the contribution that you have made in the spaces that you have occupied and worked in. But I think just broadly to all South Africans who have been able to, I suppose, enjoy the impact of your life.
Thank you.
And thank you for staying exactly the same.
Yeah.
You have
We
not
come
changed.
a long way.
A really long way. And I am getting quite emotional now because I'm thinking of all of these magical moments where the country has been able to... You've been there from when the country changed its narrative, and you've been a part of that changed narrative. Yes, with Madiba behind you. Yes, with incredible people standing around you. But you took it on as this young girl, and you just did it. You just crushed every kind of opportunity and challenge in front of you, and you look exactly the same, which is amazing to me. But you sit here just the same beautiful, energetic, wonderful human being. So
It's been like
happy
watching a movie.
birthday, Buffy.
It's been like watching a movie, the movie of Mama B's life. Please do continue to engage. Lots of love that's been coming through on social media. Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. Right now, though, let's find out what the actual movies at the cinema are up to with JP.